Before starting this video, I request you all to please like and subscribe as it really motivates me a lot.
The story begins with a system announcing that a target is nearby. The main character trembles at the warning. The system displays the message, "Affection level toward you is," before introducing itself. It greets the player and explains that this is a special world created solely for them. The system instructs the player to raise the affection levels of designated targets in order to progress the story and achieve a special ending. It explains that success will return the player's memories and send them back to their original world. The system clarifies that each target's affection level is capped at 5. If the affection exceeds this limit, it will enter an overheat state, greatly increasing the chance of triggering an extreme ending. With that, the system declares that the game has begun. Soon after, the overly silent household of Count Huxley experiences a subtle but noticeable change. That change begins with Ariel Huxley, the Count's reserved daughter, who has spent most of her life confined to her room. She replaces her worn-out dress with a new one. She also begins strolling through the garden twice a day, greeting and briefly conversing with the mansion staff. Though small, the change is significant. Ariel asks her mother how she is doing and whether she is well. Compared to her previous isolation, this behavior marks a transformation as stark as night and day. Her mother replies that she is well and asks about Ariel in return. Ariel answers that she is doing well as always and casually mentions that she had a brief piano lesson the previous day. She explains that it was her first formal experience learning an instrument and that she found it surprisingly enjoyable. Her mother responds that learning 1 or 2 pieces would be beneficial for her education and offers to arrange a teacher. Ariel hesitates and says she doubts she has talent and does not believe she can learn properly. The mansion itself always carries an atmosphere resembling a funeral. Since being widowed, the Count has adopted a cold demeanor, speaking only when necessary. Combined with Ariel's former silence, the household has long felt somber. Because of this, the servants secretly hope that Ariel's change will continue. Later, Ariel's mother informs her that His Highness the Prince will be visiting the estate that day and plans to stay until dinner as part of his routine political observations. Ariel internally reasons that if she offers a proper greeting, she will not need to deal with him afterward, since he is visiting to speak with her mother. Her mother reminds her that the prince is the same age as her and that they will likely meet again at the academy. She advises Ariel to seize the opportunity to make a good impression and welcome him properly. Ariel nods in agreement. Her mother estimates that the prince will arrive in 3 or 4 hours and suggests beginning preparations immediately, offering help if Ariel needs anything. The maids escort Ariel back to her room. As soon as the door closes behind her, Ariel mutters to herself that this is bad. She suspects that the prince is likely one of the targets. She opens the system interface, which informs her that the story is still locked and that detailed information will only be unlocked after meeting at least 2 targets. It is revealed that 1 week has passed since Ariel woke up in this world for reasons unknown. She is now living as the daughter of Count Huxley. While she retains full knowledge of the setting and its society, she cannot remember who she originally was or where she lived. The only way she can see the system screen is by holding the device close to her face. The device itself looks completely out of place in this era, constantly reminding her that she is not truly Ariel Huxley. No matter how often she checks it, the phone displays the same message, as if it refuses to teach her anything she does not already know. Although others cannot see the screen, the device itself is conspicuous. Ariel decides she must hide it. She calls for the maids to help with her preparation. One maid offers to assist her with choosing a dress. Ariel reflects that Cannon was the first person she encountered after becoming Ariel Huxley. During the days she was unconscious, Cannon took care of her with visible concern. Though Ariel did not understand what was happening at the time, Cannon patiently taught her everything she needed to know, believing that she was the real Ariel. Ariel thanks her sincerely, thinking that without Cannon, she would not have been able to prepare properly. The maid modestly replies that even without her help, the young lady would have looked beautiful. Later, as rain pours down and Ariel stands beneath an umbrella, she steels herself. She tells herself that she must do what needs to be done. If she meets the target and progresses correctly, she can reach the ending within 3 years, recover her memories, and return to her original world. She wonders whether meeting this person can truly help her regain her lost memories. At the estate, the prince asks whether the count has any children. The countess replies that he does and explains that her daughter has always stayed in her room, so very few people know of her existence. The prince acknowledges this and steps toward Ariel, telling her that she is not a servant and instructing her to lift her head. Ariel looks up and sees the prince standing before her, staring at her expressionlessly. The prince comments that she is much smaller than the count. Ariel remains dazed, frozen under his gaze. Suddenly, the phone rings. The system announces that the story has been unlocked. It informs her that free play is now available. New details have been added. Help functions have been unlocked. Information regarding conquest targets has been unlocked. Ariel later reflects that the experience feels strange, as if everything is still vividly carved into her mind. She recalls how her emotions spiral out of control, an overwhelming chaos of confusion and embarrassment. In her thoughts, she remembers a road flooded with dazzling sunlight, the cityscape gleaming as light reflects off building exteriors, and a fleeting moment of warmth shared in quiet conversation with someone unknown. She realizes that something incredibly precious was right in front of her, yet she was unable to grasp or hold on to it. The memory makes her feel as though her heart has been torn apart. The scene then returns to the present. The second prince addresses her directly, stating that she is not a servant and instructs her to raise her head. Ariel introduces herself formally, saying that she is the eldest daughter of the Hackney family, Ariel Hackney, and that she is pleased to make his acquaintance. Her mother watches with visible concern. The countess asks Ariel to wait while she speaks with His Highness. Ariel obediently agrees. The countess then invites the second prince inside. As he leaves the area, Ariel observes internally that his personality does not seem gentle and that holding a conversation with him will likely be difficult. She worries about what impression she has left and regrets not managing to make a better one. Soon after, a maid informs Ariel that the countess wishes to see her in the banquet hall downstairs, where His Highness is waiting. Ariel acknowledges the request. Just before escorting her, the maid hands Ariel a small box, explaining that it is a welcome gift for the prince and that the countess has requested Ariel to present it when the prince is alone. Ariel notices that it is a square-cut sapphire and thinks that her mother must have been serious about her earlier words. The maid escorts her to the banquet hall, and the guards announce her presence. The prince orders her to sit immediately. Ariel complies. Internally, she laments forgetting her phone due to the sudden situation. She thinks that her status prevents her from approaching him easily and senses his sharp demeanor, leaving her unsure how to present the gift. The countess remarks that the weather does not seem likely to clear and suggests that the prince lodge at the estate for the night. He agrees, stating that he does not wish to travel in the rain and will leave later as suggested. The countess asks whether the meal suited him, and he replies affirmatively. She thanks him, noting that the kitchen staff will be pleased. At that moment, the prince smiles and fixes his gaze on Ariel. He declares that he would like a moment alone with her. The room grows tense. The countess asks for the reason, but the prince coldly replies that it is unnecessary for her to know and orders everyone to leave and wait elsewhere until summoned. Concerned glances are cast toward Ariel as the prince watches her like a predator observing its prey. Once they are alone, Ariel grows increasingly nervous. The prince criticizes her behavior, noting that she neither positioned guards nearby nor spoke a single word, accusing her of sitting silently like a doll in front of guests. Ariel responds that she was merely being mindful of her etiquette in his presence and explains that she is usually more carefree. The prince smiles and mentions that the countess told him they are the same age and that Ariel will be joining the academy this year. Ariel confirms this, explaining that although the decision came late, she felt compelled to attend starting this year and had already resolved to do so. The prince then asks what she would say if the countess requested that he consider taking her as his princess. Ariel is stunned and asks what he means. When he directly asks whether Ariel Hackney desires to become a princess, she admits that she was unaware of such intentions and needs time to think it over. Internally, she is shocked by her mother's boldness. The prince then questions how he should interpret the secretive offering brought before him. Ariel thinks that since it has already been revealed, she might as well present it, though she hesitates. She finally admits that it is a present for him. The prince remarks that the countess has been meticulous in her preparations and wonders whether she is attempting to flatter him or whether Ariel herself harbors ulterior motives, though he notes they have only just met, making such motives seem unreasonable. Ariel carefully chooses her words, realizing that approaching him recklessly would only earn his disdain. She admits honestly that it is indeed flattery. When he asks why, she explains that she has never participated in high society before and fears being dragged into disputes at the academy. She says she hoped to secure his backing by leaving a favorable impression. The prince summarizes coldly that she seeks the influence associated with his name. Ariel confirms this. He concludes that the countess must desire more for her than merely the title of crown princess. Ariel realizes that her mother was trying to help her in her own way. The prince remarks that looking after her would be trivial, but questions what he would gain in return. Even considering the countess's hospitality, he finds it insufficient, then abruptly stops speaking. Thunder crashes outside. The prince smiles faintly and states that since he has decided to spend the night, he will consider it if Ariel manages to win him over. It is noted that the Prince of the Empire is infamous for his hypersensitivity. He tests, evaluates, and judges people relentlessly, and when they fail to meet his standards, his demeanor shifts into something frighteningly cold. His actions are often openly disrespectful.